This is the review for section 3 of chapter 3 on page 155. We're talking about linear functions. So let's start with what a linear equation is. So linear equations can be written in standard form, and the standard form is ax plus by equals c. And there are some rules about what each one can equal. So we have ax, that's our first term. A has to be greater than or equal to 0. So that means no negative numbers. It has to be greater than or equal to 0. Also, we have ax plus by. Those are the two terms on the left. And a and b in the same equation cannot both equal 0, because you can't have 0x plus 0y equals c. And last, the greatest common factor of each term is 1. And that means if ax plus by equals c, you can't pull anything greater than 1 out of them. So if you have 3x, I can write this down. So if you have something like 3x plus 6y equals 12, the greatest common factor of these three terms is 3, because you can pull a 3 out. So you'd end up with 3, open parentheses, x plus 2y equals 3, open parentheses, 4. Or we can just write it as x plus 2y equals 4. So we pull the 3 out of the entire equation, so it's the same thing. So now the greatest common factor of each of those terms is 1. There's nothing else in common. Okay, so that's the standard form. Now let's talk about the linear equations itself. So if you have something like y equals 5 minus 2x. Now let's determine if this is a linear equation. And to do this, let's put it in the standard format. Remember, standard format is ax plus by equals c. So we need to rearrange this equation to put it in that format. And what we have is y equals 5 minus 2x. So we have this minus 2x on the right side, and we want to put it on the left. So it's in that ax plus by. So if it's a minus 2x, we add it to each side. Then we end up with 2x, because it's a minus, then you add it, so we end up with a positive 2x, plus y equals 5. So yes, this is a standard equation where our a in the ax equals 2, our b in the by is 1, because we just have y, so there's automatically a 1 in front of the y, and our c is 5. So yes, it is in standard form, and it is a linear equation. Okay, so what if we have something like this? 2xy minus 5y equals 6. This is not a linear equation, because we have 2 times x times y, and it has to be in the format ax plus by equals c. So you can't have two variables multiplied together. So no, this is not a linear equation. Okay, so now we're on page 156, about a third of the way down the page. We're going to talk about intercepts. The x-intercept is where a line crosses the x-axis. And the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So if you're looking at a graph and you're looking where it crosses your x-axis, that's your x-intercept. If you're looking where it crosses the y-intercept, the y-axis, that's your y-intercept. So this is page 156. And also the other vocabulary word is the 0. The 0 is the same as the x-intercept. Same as the x-intercept. So it's basically where your line crosses the x-axis. And if you're line is not linear, if you have a curve or a parabola, you can have more than one zero. But in a linear line, we have one x-intercept, so we have 1, 0. On page 157, example 4, graphing by making a table. So if we were to have an equation, y equals 3x minus 4, and we want to create a table, our table should have 4 columns. The first column is your x column. That's the variable, that's the values you put in for x. Your second column is your equation. So our equation is y equals 3x minus 4. So we put the 3x minus 4 in our second column. Our third column is our y, is what our answer becomes once we put in a value for x. And our last column is our ordered pair, x comma y. So in this equation, we have our first column x, second column is 3x minus 4, third y, and again fourth is our xy. Let's put in some values for x. So we'll put in -1, 0, 1, and 2. So this is what our values of x are going to be. So if we have 3x minus 4, in the second column on the same row as the -1, we put 3 times our -1 minus 4. 3 times -1 is -3, minus 4 is -7. So our x value we said was -1, and we came up with -7 for our y. So our xy value, or our ordered pair, is -1 comma -7. We put in a 0. 3 times 0 minus 4 gives us -4 for our y. Ordered pair is 0 comma -4. 1 is our next x value. So we put the 1 in for our x. 3 times 1 minus 4. 3 times 1 is 3, minus 4 gives us -1. And our ordered pair is 1 comma -1. And the last number we chose was a 2. So you have 3 times 2 minus 4. 3 times 2 is 6, so 6 minus 4 is a positive 2. Our ordered pair is 2 comma 2. So now we have all these ordered pairs. So we would then graph this, and the way we graph it, give myself some space to write on, is we have our xy axis, and from the origin we look at our first one, which is -1, -7. So we go to the left 1 because it's negative, and down 7, put a point. Our second point is 0, -4. So stay on the origin, and the 0 is our x, so we don't go left to right. So on the y-axis we go down -4. Third point is 1, -1, so we go right 1, down 1. And lastly, we have our last ordered pair at 2, 2. So we go right 2, up 2. And we end up with a linear line that is heading up to the right in quadrants 1, 3, and 4. So that's graphing by making it. The last thing we're going to review on is graphing using intercepts. So remember, the x-intercept gives us an ordered pair of x comma 0. Y-intercept gives us an ordered pair of 0 comma y. So if we have an equation and we want to find our x and y intercepts and graph that, first thing we do is put in zeros for our x, for our y to get our x-intercept. So if we have the equation y equals 3x plus 9. So for our x-intercept, we want our ordered pair to be some number for x and a 0 for y. So we want to solve for y. So the 0 goes into the y. Then we get 0 equals 3x plus 9. We want to whittle this down and get our x by itself. So we have 0 equals 3x plus 9. So we want to move that 9 to the left. and we do, it becomes a negative. Negative 9 equals 3x. Divide each side by 3. On the left, negative 9 divided by 3 gives us negative 3 equals, on the right, 3x divided by 3 is just x. So x equals negative 3. So we said, now we know our x value is negative 3. So we have open parentheses, negative 3 comma 0, because we put a 0 in for our y. So we said our y value is 0. So the x-intercept is negative 3, 0. Now let's look at our y-intercept. So we do the exact opposite of what we just did. We put the 0 in for our x. So if we have y equals 3x plus 9, we have to put a 0 in for our x. So we get y equals 3 times 0, because it's 3x, plus 9. Y equals 3 times 0 is 0, so then we get y equals 0 plus 9, or y equals 9. So again, our ordered pair is open parentheses, and we said it was 0 comma y, so our x is 0, because that's what we put in for our x, and it came out with y as a positive 9. So then we have our two intercepts, our x and our y. And the way we graph that is just those 2 points, because 2 points make a line. Starting with our x-intercept, from the origin, we said it was negative 3, 0. So we move negative 3, or 3 to the left. We don't move up and down at all, it's just right on the line. So negative 3, 0. And then the second one is at 0, 9. So from the origin, we just go straight up to 9. And then we draw our line. So this line has the intercepts at negative 3, 0 and 0, 9, and it's an arrow and a line, or a line, going up to the right or down to the left, mainly in quadrant 2, going into quadrant 1 and also into quadrant 3, but it is not in quadrant 4 at all.